Hello student, very good morning to all of you. How are you? I hope you all are happy, healthy and fine at home. Do you remember what were we discussing yesterday? I think we were discuss about the scheme number 12, which is construction of phenyl iodide minus 26. We discuss in detail as well as whatever the reagent use or utilize for scheme number 12, that also we have discussed up to the deep. So, next today we are going to continue that lecture further way by discussing the reagent and the conditions. What are the reagents and conditions used for it, that we are discussing over here. Let us see the next one will be the E reagent. E reagent will be NMO. How much equivalent? So, taken, it is mentioned over here 1.5 equivalent, then followed by TPAP, which was taken near about 0.03 equivalent, and the solvent used in combination DCM along with methyl cyanide, and the proportion was 9:1, and the reaction was stored near about 12 hours, and 96% yield were overall yield were obtained. So, now look at these are this NMO and with the combination of that TPAP. So, this is the reagent mainly known for the oxidation, and as we already seen how that secondary alcohol is converted into as a ketone, that we know that these are the oxidizing reagent. So, what is the full form of NMO? Let us see here. NMO is nothing but as a N-methyl morpholine N-oxide. This is the full form of NMO. What could be the structure of N-methyl morpholine? You know that the structure of morpholine, this is one of the, this is secondary amine type of this, but here N-methyl means here is a methyl group. Morpholine, this is a morpholine structure. Oxide means here O minus and then positive. This compound becomes as a polar in nature. And now this is the structure of N-methyl morpholine. Now another compound which is used here is a TPAP. TPAP means what? Once again, TP stand for tetrapropyl ammonium. This T stand for tetrapropyl, P for propyl, A for ammonium, then peruthenate. This is a full form of that TPAP. So, this is the reagent which is oxidizing reagent, very good oxidizing reagent we are getting as a high yield of the product. See here 96% of yield, and in the synthetic organic compound more than 60 or 70%, that synthetic is considered as a very good synthetic um, uh, in organic chemistry, because economically it will be a profit, it will be a useful, and therefore it is highly high yielded compound, and therefore it is a very important one. As far as the synthetic organic chemistry is concerned, E, and after that the reagent which we are going to discuss, that is F, E, F. The reagent F will be the tris here, tris NH, NH2, that is a hydrazine, and that hydrazine which was taken 1.5 equivalent, then sodium sulfate NaSO4, Na2SO4, sodium sulfate which was taken at 100 weight percent, and the solvent employed is a THF, tetrahydrofuran, and this reaction was stirred for 4 hours, and the 90% overall yield were obtained during this transformation. And as we know, this is a hydrazine. When treated with that ketone, it forms generally as a hydrazine. Very easily addition elimination reaction takes place, and we will get as a hydrazine derivatives, that is we got over here. And after that there is another reagent after F, there is a G reagent, and G reagents are N-butyl lithium, N-butyl lithium, normal butyl lithium which was taken near about 2.5 moline, toluene as a solvent which was taken near about 2.1 equivalent, 1 equivalent. Then again solvent is used as a THF, tetrahydrofuran, and temperature is kept near about -28 to -25 degrees centigrade. This was the temperature kept, and this reaction mixture were stirred for 20 minutes, and 20 minutes, and the overall yield is obtained over 90%. So, this is again it's a very high yield product. Then next one, the reagent will be the FGH reagent, and that H reagent is nothing but as a KHMDS, and as we know that KHMDS is nothing but as a potassium hexamethyl diacylazide or potassium trimethyl azide, that, and which was taken near about 0.5 mole in toluene, molar in toluene, the solvent. It is also near about 1.5 equivalent, and then followed by PHN, TF, triflate, which was taken 1.5 equivalent, and the solvent once again used as THF, tetrahydrofuran, and the temperature is kept minus 78 degrees centigrade to minus 40 degrees centigrade, and the reaction mixture once again stirred for 30 minutes, and the overall yield is obtained near over 94%. These are the reagents which we utilized in our scheme number 12. They have utilized there in scheme number 12. Now, let us see the remaining structures, remaining reagents, and those are as H, I, then Me3, SN, Me3, that is a trimethyl tintine trimethyl, which was taken about 2.0 equivalent, and followed by lithium chloride, which was taken around 10 equivalent. After that, there is a PdCl2, palladium chloride, and DPPF twice, which was taken near about 0.1 equivalent dioxane as an solvent, and the 60 temperature is kept is a 60 degrees centigrade, and this reaction was stirred for 12 hours of day. So, see here, generally Me3, SN, Me3, which was taken 2.0 equivalent, followed by lithium chloride, which was taken 10 equivalent, then PdCl2, DPPF. DPPF means what? That we are going to discuss over here. DPPF means the full form of that. DPPF means it is a 1 dash base diphenyl phosphino, ferrocene. So, this is a full form of DP. So, diphenyl phosphine ferrocene. So, that is the full form of that, and this is the organophosphorus compound. This is nothing but as a organophosphorus compound, organophosphorus compound, and commercially used as a ligand in homogeneous catalyst. This is a commercially used as a homogeneous catalyst, heterogeneous and homogeneous. Homogeneous means whatever phase of that reaction, organic reactions are carried out in the same phase, and heterogeneous means what? The reaction and the reagent are the different, catalysts are different in phases. So, that is known as a heterogeneous catalyst. So, this is a belonging to as a homogeneous catalyst. So, now what will be the structure of this? And for structure, let me draw here that structure. You can see this is a furan type of the ring. Here is a Fe, then this one, and now here at this position there is a phosphorus attached to two phenyl group pH like this. So, here may be as a stereochemistry shown over here. Here also a phosphorus, once again pH means phenyl group. Here also you can show as a phenyl group. So, that is a stereochemistry shown over there. So, this is a structure, and now is a last one, J reagent in this reaction was NIS. NIS, as we know that is a N-iodosuccinamide, which was taken about 1.5 equivalent, 1.5 equivalent, and solvent used as a THF, tetrahydrofuran, and minus 50 degrees centigrade, and this the overall yield is obtained is a very less, nearly as a 50% for the two steps, and we achieved the our target molecule. And as we know that NIS means what? That is a N-bromosuccinamide. So, this was accomplished through the uses of bomb chloride and IPR2 NET toluene 90 degree centigrade, followed by treatment with TBAF, that is a tetra butyl ammonium fluoride 1.0 mole in THF 70 degree centigrade, kept as a temperature to afford hydroxy compound minus 64 in 97% overall yield. The rather forcing condition, elevated temperature employed in the later two reaction were both interesting and necessary. After oxidation of minus 64 to ketone minus 65 NMO TPAP catalyst, the stage was set for the generation of the corresponding tris hydrazone in preparation for the intended Shapiro reaction. And Shapiro reaction we already discussed in our previous lectures with the general reaction, with their mechanism, uses, and some of the example we have explained over there. And this seemingly simple operation proved more advantageous than anticipated. And as seen from the optimization attempt listed in table 1, so that table is written over here. So, let us see that optimization of that table. Let me clean this. So, how they shown as a one of the table over here. So, let us see the table 1 optimization, table 1 optimization of the formation of trishedrazole of trishedrazole minus 66, which we were discussing in scheme number 12. But let us see once again over here is a structure, not here, I am showing here structure. So, due to this limitation of that blackboard, I am showing this structure is like this. So, here we know that this is a O bomb POM. This is the hydrogen atom which is above the plane. This is a hydrogen atom, this should be below the plane, and here is a keto group, and it will be treated with this one. What is that? Tris NH2. What the hydrazone derivatives are formed. So, how it looks? Let us see over here once again is a structure which I am representing here. Here is a this one. This bomb remains as it is. This is a hydrogen atom which also remains as it is. This is a hydrogen atom which is shown over here. Now, here N, then NH. Tris means what? S double bond O, then benzene ring. Here this is a group attached further over there. So, this is the structure, and this is the compound number, what we can call it as a minus 66, that one. This is a minus 66, and this may be as a minus 65. And now, let us see the table over here, entry. Here the entry followed by solvent, then followed by temperature in 0 degree centigrade, time in hour, then tris NH2 which was taken in equivalent, then concentration, then additives, then yield, and last one is the diastereoisomers. So, that is the table shown over here. Now, entries are 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 entries over there. Solvent employed here is in a first entry methanol, and rest of the 4 entry they have used the solvent THF, tetrahydrofuran, that is a solvent they have employed in the rest of the entries. Now, the temperature they have kept all these at a room temperature, means near about as a 25 degree centigrade, which was shown here, and the time is also here is a 16 hour, here also as a 16 hour, then 1 hour, and here is a 4 hour. The equivalent which was used in a previous 2 entries are 1.2, 1.2. The rest of the entries they have used the equivalent 1.0, 1.0 and 1.0. The concentration were employed in the first 3 entries are 0.1, 0.1, 0.1, and rest of the 2 are 0.2 and 0.2. The additives they have used here in the first 2 entries there is a no additives, none. Here also as a none, but in third entries they have used additive is a pH 7 buffer, and rest of the two entries here is a none, and in a last entry Na2 SO4, this is a additive they have used, and the yield they were obtained in a first case is a 66%, second is 85%, third one is a in addition of additive only as a 50%, then 53%, here is a 70% yield they have got. And the diastereomer 1:1, here also 1:1, 1:1 ratio. In every case they have not in first two cases they have got as a ratio 1:1, here also 1:1, but in the next case 5:1, 5:1, then rest of the two is over 10:1, over 10:1. So here these reactions were run on 0.1 to 0.3 millimole scale. Reaction was run up to 13.0 millimole scale. Dr was determined by H1 NMR spectroscopy analysis, and here the TMP is nothing but as a temperature, and CONC concentration means the concentration that is used there. And thus initial experiment using methanol as a solvent, entry 1 proved disappointing, providing trace hydrazone -66 in low conversion and an unacceptable degree of epimerization at C7, PR is approximately 1:1. However, it was quickly discovered that by switching to the THF as a solvent and decreasing the reaction time diminished the degree of epimerization, although the conversion remained unsatisfactory. Entries 2 to 4 that is shown over here. And finally, use of Na2SO4 as a dehydrating agent resulted in the formation of -66 in excellent yield 90% and diastereo selectivity DR is over 10:1 with the desired product predominating entry 5 table 1 scheme number 12 that is. And I think with this we have discussed here so far optimization of this compound. The remaining discussion we will discuss in our next lecture. Till then, have a nice day. Thank you.